Hey everybody, welcome. It is Friday night and it's time for another craft project. This is Timmy with Couture and I am thrilled to be here with you tonight. If you're just coming on in, be sure to say hi and let me know that you're here. And I am really excited about this technique that I'm going to share with you that I literally just learned this morning. So, of course, as soon as I saw it, I had to try it out. And I can't wait to share it with you because I hope that you're going to be as excited about it as I am and want to give it a try. So I'm just going to make sure that all is well and we are live here. And then we'll go ahead and jump right into our project. I'm going to just change our view here for a minute and make sure we can see each other and our project, and then we're going to jump in. So, what a week, huh? It has been a crazy week. As you know, it was birthday week here at the Potch Ready House, and it turned out that it's also the beginning of my daughter's moving out week, which I knew it was coming, but I think it came a little faster even than I expected. So we were spending a little bit of this early part of the evening helping her move some furniture, and my aunt and uncle were really great. They had some awesome, sorry, I'm looking at my thing saying I went live 15 minutes ago. That's very funny. My aunt and uncle had some furniture that they were needing to get rid of and that my daughter needed, so she got some brand new things to add to her new place. So that's been kind of cool. So we picked up a lot of that and moved it into her new space, and she is expected home tonight, but is probably going to be starting to be on her own really soon. So I don't know if I'm all ready for that. I don't know if you all have grown children who have left the nest, as they say. Now, of course, my guys, as you know, just turned 26, and they did already leave the nest once, but they came back after college, and now they're getting ready to really take off on their own. And so it's exciting, and it's also, I don't know, a little sad, I guess. But anyway, that's kind of what got me all into Couture, because I was really looking for something to occupy myself when my first son left. He is in the military and actually ended up getting deployed overseas, and I just didn't want to spend my whole nights and weekends worrying when I wasn't working. So I thought, you know what? I think I need something to occupy my time. And now, as they are really starting their own lives, it's even more so of a reason why I've been having a lot of fun trying out some new craft activities and really utilizing our Couture products to really spruce up my house. So it makes me feel really good, and makes me feel really good to share that with all of you as well. So I am gonna pop over here to our different view and show you what we're going to be working on tonight. You probably saw the picture I posted, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, on this technique that I'm going to show you today. And really it's a way of making our own kind of crackle paint. And this surface actually is one of our Couture surfaces. It's called the board and base, not the board and base, excuse me, our small palette board. And this is what it looks like when it's been chalked on. And you can see this has a Thanksgiving Thanksgiving related theme, right? This one had a Christmas theme, and I wanted to change it out. And one of the things that you know about me, if you've met me, you'll know that I really like to change up and repurpose things. And these are considered what we call single-use boards, meaning you chalk them once and you're done. But I always like to be trying out some new things, and so I wanted to figure out how I could reuse this board. Because you know what, the palette board's really cool, and I could have certainly used the other side, but I wanted to figure out a way how I could use this. So I actually sanded off the surface and then repainted it. And I repainted it a blue color. actually this blue color here that I got, some fusion paint that was kind of cool. And I painted it over and it was a solid blue. And I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. But then I heard about this DIY Crackle option. And I thought, oh, that might look really cool on top of this blue. So I thought it came out really cool, and you can see it definitely started to crackle in spots. And that's what I'm going to show you about how you do it. And this time I'm going to use actually our small box frame. So this was one I was playing around with when I made my little bunny earlier. And again, I got to always repurpose, right? Good morning. I was going to say good morning, Barbara. See, like where my head is at, like my head is crazy. It is evening. So what we're going to do is we're first going to add some Mod Podge to our wood surface. And if you don't have Mod Podge and you have Elmer's glue, that will work as well. So you can choose which one that you want to use. Now, what I didn't find or get out here, I'm in the midst of reorganizing my office yet again. And, oh, here it is. And I was looking for my little toolkit here. Because inside my little toolkit here, I have a little bin that I'm going to put my Mod Podge in. You can dip your brush right in the Mod Podge if you want, but I am going to actually just put some right on here so I can easily dip my brush in. So Mod Podge, as you might know, it's kind of thick. It's kind of like Elmer's glue, really. And we're going to use a decent amount. I'm going to leave that open in case it's not quite enough. It should be for this size surface, but in case it's not. Now, when we use the Mod Podge, we need some kind of hard bristle brush. So I have this one here that I just cleaned. And when we apply the Mod Podge, I am sitting. I keep changing, right? We want to do a single stroke. So we want to really load up our brush in this first step and go with the grain and really load up our brush and put the Mod Podge across. Yep, I'm definitely going to be using, I'm sure, more than what I put in this little bin. So there we go. Now notice I did tape off the sides. What we want to try to do is avoid going over this. So this brush is a good use because we can get a pretty good surface coverage and I don't have to worry about going back over it again. There we go. I am going to need a little more. And it also is a good idea when you're adding your Mod Podge here to kind of stagger the lines a little bit. And again, this is a technique I just saw done this morning, and I really have to thank my friend Gina, a fellow designer, Couture, for sharing this technique. So I totally borrowed it from her. So for those of you that watch me and you think, where do you get these ideas? I get them from my fellow designers because they're so awesome about sharing them with us. And so I thank her very much for that. So now I'm just going to make sure there wasn't any spots that I missed. That looks pretty good. And that's it. That's our first layer. I know you're probably thinking, oh my God, Timmy, what a freaking mess. But it is not going to be a mess, I promise. It's going to be really interesting. Now this one's going to look a little bit different, of course, than the one I just showed you that I did earlier as my test case, and that's because I had that blue paint beneath it. And you could definitely do this on a surface that already has some paint on it, as you saw that I did with this one. But I think we're going to get a really cool kind of crackle effect by following it just right on the wood grain. Now, I have my heat gun here, and I'm going to use that to give this kind of a quick dry. We don't want it to be very, very dry. Hey, Eva. Just a little bit to start to kind of make it tacky. So I'm just going to do that here a little bit. And then our second layer is just going to be some chalk paint. Now this is just some chalk paint that I had around. Whoops, let's not spill it. If my sister's watching, she'll recognize it because we got it when we did a furniture piece of hers. And like I said, we're just kind of drying this a little bit. Not too much. We are not worrying about drying this fully with the Mod Podge right now. And then we're going to take our second brush and we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to take now our chalk paint and we are going to now paint this surface right over that Mod Podge. Same idea. This brush is a little bit smaller. But same idea, we're going to load up this brush. Sorry, I'm going to load it up. And we are going to, again, try not to go over the area. Just bring it across. And you can almost see the crackling starting already. It kind of is that fast. Now, as it dries, it's going to crackle more, and we're going to get our heat gun out and make this really crackle. But load up your brush and give this a good cover. It's a kind of looks messy and goopy, but it's really cool once it's all done. Hey, Cheryl, welcome. Happy Friday night. What are you guys up to tonight? Hanging out, obviously, watching me. So you can definitely turn your brush over if you need to and want to. We got some extra stuff on there. And I got quite a bit on here for sure. We actually got out for a little bit because, as you might have heard me say at the beginning, we are helping my daughter move some stuff into her new place. And it was... I'm just trying to move some of these kind of gloppier areas if I got some big chunks. Some areas here a little thicker than others. And that's it. I know you're probably looking at it like, ugh, Timmy, that looks like a freaking mess. But I promise you're going to love it. So we are going to, now we can let this air dry if we wanted, but we don't want to do that because we'll be waiting forever and we won't be able to get to show you what it looks like as it's happening. So I'm going to just put these off to the side and I'm going to grab this heat tool again. And now this is going to take a while, but I wanted to start to show you what it looks like as it's starting to dry so you can start to see some of this crackling starting to happen. Now the other thing I'm going to say to you is I am going to start to dry this and then we're going to stop to pull off these pieces of tape. So that it'll be a lot easier to remove them when our paint is mostly still wet versus when it's dry. It's going to be really hard to remove it totally when it's dry. So we're going to do that. And as we're doing this, tell me a little bit about what your week's been like. Have you been out and about at all? Have you been pretty much staying home? It was really strange to be out today, I gotta say. Feel like it's been a long time since I've left my house, and that's good because we're all supposed to be doing that and staying home, I know. Now make sure that when you're using your heat gun or your hair dryer that you are moving this around. You don't want your paint to burn. So what do you think? Do you like the sitting better, Barbara, or do you like the standing better? It's a Friday night and it's been a long week, so I figured, you know what, sitting sounded good to me today. So what's cool about this technique really is that it's going to really give an old look to this wood surface, and then we'll be able to actually chalk right on it. Yeah, walking, that's great, Cheryl. Definitely it's a good thing to be out there walking. I actually did get a walk in today. Yay! My dog loved it. She totally was excited that I took her out for a walk. So Steve and I got a chance to get some fresh air. Can you start to see it crackling? It's a very interesting technique. And depending on how thick it is that you put your paint. All right, so as I said, I'm going to pull off these. I know it's easier to stand, but sitting is good too. You know what? I just really like to chalk standing up most times, especially when I'm working on a larger project. So yes, I would say that chalking definitely is good in the standing position. And sometimes I'm way more comfortable standing too. I actually kind of think that I should get a stand-up desk for work. Sometimes it's just better on my back than sitting in front of a computer all day long. But I also sometimes enjoy sitting. It feels a little more intimate in some ways too. So I'm trying not to make a big mess on me. So this, I got my garbage here below. Lots of cleaning and sanitizing. Ugh, I know. Cooking too. I feel like I'm cooking constantly. Now I know I do, I confess, I eat out a lot, right? And I really miss eating out, I gotta tell you. So Cheryl, what we did at the beginning was we just put on a layer of Mod Podge. So this is what we used with some Mod Podge. And we put that on as the first layer, and we let it dry just a tad, not even that much. And then we quickly went over it with the second layer of our chalk paint. So this is the chalk paint that we used. So you can really use any kind of paint. It's just that this is what I had around. And it definitely is cracking now even more. Can you see how that rustic look is coming out on that? See the cracking? It's starting to happen here. So it's a super cool technique, and it's kind of cool because this has that nice espresso finish on the back of this board. So that's what we're seeing coming through in the cracks. And as I said, if you don't have Mod Podge, but you have Elmer's glue, that'll work too. So that's kind of cool. I know, I love eating out too. Where is your favorite restaurant? What kind of food do you like? I am totally missing Mexican, I gotta tell you. I love going out every once in a while for a good Mexican meal, especially with some yummy margaritas. And I feel like it's been a while since I've had some good margaritas. I am gonna chalk on it. I don't know that this one is going to be dry enough for us to chalk on, but I do have this one, and I think we're going to chalk on it so we can see what it looks like. You bet. But look how cool this looks, right? This is on a wood board. I would say this technique is something that you want to do on a wood board, Eva, not on a chalkboard. So you guys get the idea of what's happening here, right? You probably are like, oh my gosh, Timmy, enough with that dryer, right? But this isn't totally dry yet, but you can totally see the effect, right? See that crackle? Isn't that cool? So I'm going to just put this up here, and I'm going to let it do some more of its own drying on its own. And I figured, you know what, while we've got this one, let's go ahead and chalk on it, don't you think? So let me just do this. Oops, I don't want to do that. I want to do, I don't know what happened. Let me just try one thing here for you. Oops, get through to that, put that there. I want to make this a little bit larger so we can really see it. There we go. And there I am. All right, let's try that. That's a little better. Okay. Seafood and Italian. Chinese. Chinese you can still get, right? You can definitely order and have it delivered, right? Or pick it up, right? That's kind of a cool thing. The crackle is a little raised, absolutely. You can definitely feel it's got some texture. Yeah, lots of wood boards. It's a little bit bumpy, not horrendously, and I think it kind of depends on how much you put on. And I actually did take a little sanding block and sanded the edges where I had a little extra overlap. Hey Cheryl, welcome. So we were just showing how you add a layer of Mod Podge first and let that dry, and then add on a second layer of paint. In this case, I used chalk paint. So this is the one that we were working on, and we were working on getting it dry. And you can see the crackle has begun. And it's getting, definitely you can see where it's still wet in some places, but you can see that nice crackling happen. So it's super cool. You can go back and watch the replay, Cheryl, too, and see all the technique. But now we're going to just take a minute and go ahead and chalk this. And I thought, since this was kind of nautical looking to me, I thought it would be a great transfer to use one of our pieces from the Endless Wonder, and I think this starfish is going to be the one that I am going to use. So I think this is so pretty, and I think this will look really nice on here. Now the question is, what color chalk paste should I use? Because I didn't even plan for that. Hey, thank you, Cheryl. Thanks for sharing the love. I got a little thing right here to put your name in. Let me grab my pen. And this is my little truck where we're putting in people who spread the chalk love, and that gets you into entered into my free giveaway that happens every Sunday night. So there you go. You are shared. There you go. Thanks for telling me. Awesome. All right, so as you're watching, what do you think? What color should we go with here? Should we go with a kind of a light almond, a blue-gray? Now, of course, we've got our blue-gray color here that we used last time. That would be great. Cheryl, I don't think this technique would work on a chalkboard because you need the wood grain. So you definitely want to use it on a wood surface that has a wood grain to it. That's what's, I think, going to really bring out the crackle look, not on a chalkboard. Cheryl, is that a sad face or a happy face? Barbara, thank you for sharing. Oh, all right, I got to put you in here too. I know, isn't he cute? He was a little Target find. I gotta love Target, you know, because there's always some really fun things you can find there. And there you go. Thank you for your share. You are in there for our drawing on Sunday night. We're going to have a lot of goodies coming up. I know. Cheryl, have you tried your vintage truck yet? Your vintage truck transfer? I definitely think we need to do that one together here soon. There is a very cute bunny add-on, and I definitely got to do it. Oh, good. It was a happy face, Cheryl. I'm glad. How's your pup? I got to know how your puppy's doing. That cute little guy running around like a crazy man in the backyard. He was so cute. Is he getting out and getting lots of walks like mine? My puppy is so very happy to get out and get a chance to run around. Of course, she's kind of exhausted now, which maybe is good. I wish you could see it. I moved her dog bed out there. You didn't know you did a face? You didn't do a face. Cheryl did a face. Oh, the other Cheryl. Cheryl Jones. Sorry. We have two Cheryls, and they're spelled differently. So I was talking to the other Cheryl. Oh, that's so funny. So here we go. Blue-gray. So, Barbara, I think you were the one who said we should use blue-gray. So let's give this a whirl and see how it looks. It's probably going to be pulling in definitely some of the blue grays from the underneath, right? Because we saw that. But you can see, even though this surface is bumpy, you can absolutely still chalk on it. Don't worry about feeling like you need to have a super smooth surface to chalk on. Sometimes you'll have an area that's got some bumps on it, and that's all right. And there we go. Easy peasy as always, right? Look at that. Oh, and that was a great color choice. Barbara, thank you. Look at how pretty that is. I couldn't decide. I was hemming and hawing about whether or not I thought this would be a good color. But you know what? I think it turned out to be pretty awesome. I think this should be our giveaway, don't you? All right, I think we're putting this in our giveaway bucket for the coming week. So for those of you that shared, you have gotten entered into this week's drawing. So you might be able to walk home with this cutie. If you haven't shared and you'd like to, feel free, and that will enter you in as well. And then we will draw our winner on Sunday evening. So hope you like it. This was really fun to do. I hope you liked the technique. I thought it was super cool. And remember that this is what the one we did. And we'll let that dry, and then it'll be ready for a surface that we can use to chalk on down the road as well. So super cool, huh? Who knew that you could do so much with Mod Podge? Who knew? Who knew? Thank you again to Gina for sharing this great technique, and thanks guys for watching me tonight. Hope you have a really good one, and catch me in the morning because I'm going to use this transfer on glass, and we're going to use some etching cream, and we're going to put it on a beautiful glass container I picked up that's full of seashells. So you won't want to miss it. Come back and see me tomorrow morning around 9 or 9:30, and we'll do some glass etching together. Until then, you guys take good care. Thanks for joining. Have a good one. Bye.